Hey guys, today we are doing section 6-5, proportions and percents. To do proportions and percents, we're going to deal with, well, proportions to solve percent problems. The way that we're going to set these proportions and percent problems up is a proportion that shows on the left-hand side percent over 100, because as we've learned in our previous lessons, a percent is out of 100. So the percent out of 100 will equal a part over the whole, or another way to think about it is over of. Please pause the movie and copy these notes onto your papers. You should have the title, this statement here showing that a percent is part of a whole, and these two proportion examples. Again, pause the movie and copy these into your notes. So let's try a sample problem. 25% of 124. I'm going to use my percent over 100 equals is over of. Okay, so the percent over 100, I can see here that the percent is 25. So that would be 25 over 100 equals is, I don't know what that is, so that's going to be x, of 124. So of 124. I use what I learned in proportions to do my cross products. So I know that 100 times x is 100x, and 124 times 25, let's find that out. 5 times 4 is 20. That's a 0. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. Place holder. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. And 2 times 1 is 2. When I add all these up, I get 3,100. So 100x equals 3,100. If I use my inverse operations to solve for x, I will see that x is 31. So 25% of 124 is 31. Now I'd like you to try the next one on your own. 30% of 230. Pause the movie, solve the problem, and check your work when you're finished. Let's see how you did. Again, we're going to use our percent over 100 equals is over of. So we know the percent and we know the of. Sometimes I like to underline and circle my parts of the problem to identify these pieces. So percent over 100. 30 over 100 equals is over the of. What do I know? Well, I know the of. So I'll put the 230 on the bottom, and on top will be x. Again, cross products. 100 times x is 100x, and 230 times 30, those are all zeros. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 3 is 9. Sorry, my zeros are looking like 6s here. And 2 times 3 is 6. So if I add all these up, I get 6,900. I know that 100x is equal to 6,900. I'm going to use my inverse operations to solve for x. X is going to equal 69. Check your notes on your paper. If you got this problem correct, you may move on. If not, go back and fix your notes so that it is done correctly. Let's move on to some different problems. 14 is what percent of 15? Let's write our proportion again. Percent over 100 equals is over of. Okay, now we just want to fill in what we're trying to find out and what we know. Percent over 100. Do I know the percent? No, it's asking what percent. So I'm going to make that x. So x over 100 equals is. This says 14 is. Bam. There's my is. 14 of 15. Of 15. Percent, which is what we don't know, over 100 equals is over of. Now, again, we use our cross products. 15 times x is 15x. And 14 times 100, well, I'm going to take the 14 times the 1 and then just bring those zeros down. Nice little trick. So we now have 1400 equals 15 times x. Inverse operations, 15 is bothering x by multiplying, so we are going to divide. And I'm going to take my 1,400 and divide it by 15. Well, 15 doesn't go into 14, but 15 goes into 140, I think 9 times. So 9 times 15 is 135. Have to borrow, subtract, bring down the 0. 15 goes into 50 3 times. 45. Uh-oh, I've got another 5. This looks like it's going to keep repeating. So my answer will be 93.3 with a line over it. So that would be 93.3%. I'd like you to pause the movie, copy this problem and the steps to solution into your notes. Great. Now that you have this problem and the steps to solution in your notes, I'd like you to try this one on your own. Set up your proportion, percent over 100 equals is over of, and solve for x to find what percent of 250 is 138. Let's see how you did. Well, I'm hoping you started with your percent over 100 equals is over of. So, hopefully you filled that in. The percent, we don't know. So we're going to say x over 100 because we're solving for the percent. Of 250. Of goes on the bottom. So I'm going to put 250 on the bottom. Is 138. So 138 goes on the top. Use my cross products to solve. So 250 times x is 250x, and 138 times 100 is 13,800. Now I use my inverse operations to solve for x. Let's see what x is. I have my 13,800 divided by 250. Well, 250 doesn't go into 138. It's going to have to go into 1,380. That's going to go in, I know 250 goes into 1,000 4 times, so it will go one more time after that. It gives me 1,250. If I subtract these and bring this down, it looks like I get 1,300, where 5 is going to work again. 1,250. Well, looks like I'm going to have 10 minus 5 is 5. Now I'm going to have to add a decimal. I'm not done yet. Bring down the 0. 250 goes into 500 2 times. And finally, I am finished. So 14 is what percent of 15? We can say that it is 55.2%. Excuse me. This one was the what percent of 250 is 138. So we can say that 138 is 55.2% of 250. I got confused with that first problem. Sorry about that. So make sure that you have both examples in your notes and that you fixed your examples for this last problem. Let's try this last one. Percent over 100 equals is over of. Now we're going to read the problem and replace the numbers. 8 is, so I'm going to put 8 here. 25%, so the 25 is going to go here. Of what number? We don't know what that is. So let's use our cross products. 25 times x is 25x. 8 times 100 is 800. Using our inverse operations, okay, we're going to see what 800 divided by 25 is. 25 goes into 80 3 times. That gives us 75. Hopefully you guys are getting good at your long division by now. 25 goes into 50 2 times, and we are done. X is equal to 32. So that means that 8 is 25% of 32. Pause the movie, copy this problem and the steps into your notes, then try this last one on your own. This is actually the number 11. Play the movie again to check your answer. Let's see how you did. Is over of equals percent over 100. Let's fill these in with the correct numbers. 11 is, so I'm going to put 11 here. 35%, we'll put that there, of what number? Of is x. Well, let's cross product and solve. 11 times 100 is 1,100, and x times 35 is 35x. If we use our inverse operations, let's see what we get. 1,100 divided by 35. Well, 35 goes into 110 3 times. That would give me 105. So 10 minus 5 is 5. Bring down the 0. 35 goes into 50 1 time. 1 times 35 is 35. And again, we keep 10 minus 5 is 5. And 4 minus 3 is 1. So now I need to add a decimal and bring down a 0. 35 is going to go into 150 4 times. 5 times 4 is 20. 4 times 12, that's 140. And I'm going to go ahead and stop there. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to keep going. That would give me 100. And 35 goes into 100 2 times. Now I'm going to stop because I want to round most of these to the nearest tenth. The tenth is right here. I look to the number to the right of it. If it's 5 or greater, the 4 goes up. If not, it stays the same. So this is going to stay the same because the 2 is not 5 or bigger. So x is going to equal 31.4. Check your work in your notes. If you got them correct, then you may move on. If not, go back and fix your mistakes. Now that you have practiced finding percents of numbers, I want you to do these 3 problems and submit them to the form. Feel free to go back and use your notes in the sample problems I gave you to help solve these problems on your own. Good luck!